Any minute now. There we go. Hey, what's up, Tiger Gang? It's JT from the Poco Moonshine family. Well, we're back with another episode of Chatting with Carnivores. Today we got Andrea. How you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm doing even better now that I can hear you. You guys, we were a couple minutes late because I kept telling Andrea, I'm like, yeah, I can't hear you. Well, it would help if I didn't have her muted. Dear Lord. Ugh.
I switched to my phone, to my computer, to my
Yeah, I
phone.
was like, yeah, try the cell phone. And then she's like, okay. I'm like, it's still not working. I'm like, oh my gosh, I just sabotaged this poor girl. I am so sorry, but we're all good now. Um, besides that, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well. I'm doing really well. I'm glad it's Friday.
Yeah, me too. Me too. So, where are you from and where are you at now, Andrea?
So, I was born and raised in Florida, right near the beach, and I miss it so much. I'm right now in California. I'm in North Carolina.
North Carolina.
Um, I'm more west though, so I'm like 4 hours from the beach, and it's been uh, I feel landlocked. I
Mm.
need ocean. There's too many mountains and trees and it's but I love it. And the reason I moved up here was because I was really sick, and the house I was living in Florida had mold in it,
Mm.
and we weren't able to remediate it, and I had to get out if I wanted to get better. So
Yeah, we don't have ocean here in Wisconsin, but we do have Lake Michigan. So we do have some nice
yeah,
beaches, and it looks like an ocean. The lake is huge.
I've been to Palmyra,
Mm-hmm.
Wisconsin. Um, I used to be a holistic nutritionist, and we used a product called Standard Process, and there are farms up there. So
Oh, okay.
it was beautiful when I went. I love it.
Are you afraid of sharks?
Nope.
So you don't mind going to the beach, huh?
Oh no, yeah.
I gotta have a shark-free beach, which is like Lake Michigan, then, because I know there's no sharks in there. So,
Yeah, I alligator sharks. In Floridians we ride them. So
mm, I don't mind riding a tiger, but a shark, I can't do it. So,
yeah,
how did you grow up? Can you take us back?
yeah. So I had a pretty, I wouldn't say traumatic childhood. It wasn't your normal mom dad situation. My father had left when I was one, so I don't really have many memories of him. He did come and visit every once in a while, but I actually lived with my grandparents for until I was about 10. And so my grandmother, she actually came from Italy. She sailed on a boat, landed, and she ended up living in Michigan. And so she would always cook pasta and homemade bread and, you know, tiramisu and all those
Lots of
sugary.
carby stuff,
Yeah. So I grew up eating, I called them buttered noonies.
buttered noonies.
Buttered buttered noonies because I wouldn't eat the red sauce. So I had butter noodles. I ate lots of ice cream and, of course, like chicken nuggets, French fries. So that was pretty much my diet growing up. I wouldn't eat anything that had color in it, and not even like meat or anything. It was like chicken and pasta.
French fries.
Yes. Well, so my I love potatoes. My grandpa, um, bless his heart, he passed away not too long ago. But he would take me when I was in preschool. He would take me through the McDonald's drive-through and buy me ice cream for breakfast.
Oh,
Yeah. So that like my diet growing up was horrendous. And so when my grandmother had passed away, I moved in with my mom, who um, she's she's doing better, but she does have some like mental disability and stuff like that. She was in the military, and um, she just struggles a lot with stress and anxiety and all those things. So I pretty much grew up on my own. I was making my own food, so I was eating things that I could throw in the microwave, and a lot of deli meat, sandwiches, ice cream,
Hmm.
stuff like that. So I never really noticed too many illnesses when I was a kid. But then when I started getting into middle school and high school, I started getting a lot of symptoms. And I wasn't like sick, like I had the flu every week sick. It was like old people diseases like joint pain and constipation and like all those things. So I grew up riding horses, and we would go to the shows, and of course I was drinking Mountain Dew, eating Cheez-Its, like that. That was that
Living the
was my
life.
that was my snack of choice, man. Mountain Dew and Cheez-Its. It's like that salty and that sweet.
Yeah, I tell you, that Mountain Dew just is wild to me. I love the Cold Red back in the day,
Mm.
and I can't imagine how much sugar's in that stuff.
Oh, it's yeah, and just the chemicals and it's insane. So um, that I think being out in the woods and stuff is probably when I got exposed to Lyme disease, probably got bit by a tick, whatever, so on and so forth. And then, so I had a really, really bad head injury. I think it was seventh grade. A girl came up behind me, I had like my hair in a ponytail. She grabbed me by my hair and slammed my head onto the ground
Ooh.
and knocked me out. I couldn't walk. They had to carry me. I had to go to the emergency room, and I had a pretty bad concussion.
Hmm.
And that's after that is when I started to see like my health really go south. Uh, Brain fog, digestive issues, tired. I was falling asleep in class. My teachers would call my grandpa and say, "Hey, Andrea can't stay awake. She's gonna fail," stuff like that. So it's always been a challenge, and I thought I was just like stupid or something because I couldn't stay awake. I couldn't, I just couldn't function at all. And then in high school, I just started getting worse, and um, I would try. So as far as sports goes, I never excelled. I would run track and try my hardest, and I would barely make it. I would be the last on the on the scoreboard.
That's why I never tried track. I was like, man, ain't for me. I give you credit for trying.
And I swam. I was decent at that, but still low on the scoreboard. I weightlifted, and I ended up injuring myself. Um, and but through all that, I saw that. Oh, I questioned why, like, what's wrong with me? There's something wrong with me. And at that time, I was eating out a lot. Um, my grandpa would bring me Wendy's for lunch. I was eating Chick-fil-A, and just, I never had a home cooked meal. I was just eating all those seed oils and and carbs and sugar. And and I don't blame my family because they just don't know.
I
And
think they looked at it was probably more like treats for you rather than, I don't
yes,
think they had ill intentions.
yes. So when I got I dropped 95 pounds on my shin in high school when I was weightlifting. I was doing the Olympic, and I clean and jerked, and I dropped it and it hit my
Mm.
shin. And luckily I didn't break it, but um, I ended up seeing a local chiropractor, and she was into the holistic nutrition and stuff like that. And she used a low level light therapy or like a cold laser on my shin. And within the next week, it was like healed. And I was like, what? I was like, oh, hey, by the way, my neck hurts. I can't go to the bathroom. I have severe cystic acne. I'm tired all the time. Like, I just like told her all this stuff. And she's like, all right, well, write down what you're eating and we'll figure it out from there. And I was like, okay. So I brought her back my sheet, and she's like, wow, you eat like crap. I was like, okay. And that's when I was eating the Chick-fil-A and just all that garbage. And so that I would think I was about 16 is when I completely cut out wheat from my diet.
Mm.
So I've been gluten free for I'm 25 now, so for about 10 years.
Wow.
Um, that cleared up most of my symptoms, um, which was relieving. And then I got into the holistic realm, and I started working for her, and life went on. But I ended up leaving that job, pursuing. Um, I did musical theater in high school. When I did everything in high school, I did everything in high school.
You tried it all.
Yeah, I love musical theater, so I ended up pursuing acting and musical theater for a little bit, and ended up working at a restaurant so I could have flexible hours, and then my diet got really bad again. I was
Mm.
living off cold brews and Red Bulls and whatever I could get my hands on when I got home. And I had a very poor relationship with food because I saw food as either bad or good, which in a sense it is, but as far as like psychologically, I think that we should understand what food does and how we react to it.
Mhm.
Um, I don't think all vegetables are evil. I don't think all carbs are bad. But as far as healing goes, there are some people like me personally who have to cut out all of those things in order to heal, especially after years of my whole life just damaging my body. Plus, my mom did not breastfeed me for a long time, so I know
Mm.
that has a lot to do with the microbiome and your immune system and all that stuff. So, fast forward to 2021, I believe. Yeah, I got the big C, and I just I recovered. Actually, I recovered very well, but I lost a lot of weight, and I started getting like panic attacks, and I didn't know what was going on. And then one day I just woke up and I couldn't get out of bed. Um, my heart rate would shoot up to like 170, 180. My blood pressure would um, go really, really low. I'd get super dizzy. I'd lose my vision. Um, it was terrifying.
Mm.
It was the most terrifying thing. So I ended up going to the emergency room, and um, luckily, the first doctor I saw, he checked all my orthostatic pressures and stuff. He goes, "You need to see a cardiologist." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "We have a big word, sinus tachycardia. It's just inflammation." And so I ended up going, and that's when I got diagnosed with POTS, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Most people with this syndrome, they can't stand up or be upright for a certain amount of time, or they'll pass out.
Mm.
Luckily, I would never get to that point. I would lay down, put my feet up on the wall, things like that, so that the blood would get to my head. But at that time, it was really hard because a lot of people didn't believe what I was saying. My doctor blew me off for months saying I had anxiety. I would be sitting there and my heart rate would be 170. He's like, "Oh, you're anxious, huh?" I'm like, "No, there's something wrong with me. Like I'm
Yeah.
sick." I couldn't drive, I couldn't work. I could barely lift my hands over my head. I was so sick. And so a lot of people are calling it long haul, whatever. But what I'm realizing is that people who are getting long haul, I'm pretty sure they either have Lyme or they've been exposed to mold. And in my case, I had both.
Mm.
And I didn't know. I didn't know, and um, that virus was just the straw. I call it the straw that broke the camel's back. My body couldn't take it anymore.
Mm,
It was too stressed. As far as Lyme disease goes, I believe that a lot of people do have it, but their immune system works properly. It's able to keep it suppressed. And then, actually, if you talk to a lot of Lyme people, this is what happens. They go through a very stressful situation in their life, and then all their symptoms flare up. And they're like,
mm,
what? So that's what happened to me. And then, as far as diet went, I was having reactions to everything. I was getting hives. My tongue was swelling up. I ended up having to get an EpiPen. I was scared to even like go to sleep at night because I didn't know if I would wake up in the morning. I was reacting to gasoline. I was reacting to anything that smelled weird, um, like perfume, or going down the grocery store aisle that has like laundry detergent, stuff like that. Um, and so I went more the paleo route and I did well, but I would fall back into this binging, kind of disordered eating where if I ate a piece of cake or something, I would just eat the whole thing. Or if I had a glass of wine, I would drink the whole thing, and then my symptoms would flare up and get worse again. So I got really, really sick again, and I was only eating cauliflower because I didn't know what else to eat. Um, and it was the only thing I wasn't reacting to. And a friend, Dan, my boyfriend, he wasn't my boyfriend at the time, but he had posted something on a dysautonomia page. He was like, "Oh, the carnivore diet worked for me," and I like put a thumbs up because I all my colleagues that were like helping me through all this were like, "You need to do the carnivore diet," and I'm like, "No, I can't do that. No, that's crazy." And so he actually convinced me, and that day, I mean, I hopped right in. I did have histamine issues though, so I had to get more fresh meat. I couldn't do ground meat at first, and I ate a lot of lamb.
mm.
So at first I was just eating lamb, ribeyes, and making sure I had salt and water. Because of the pots, I was drinking so much water and salt. But that I did that for like 6 months, and I had the opposite effect. I gained weight because I needed to because I was so I was just constantly dropping down. I think I got down to like 118, which I mean it's not like you wouldn't think I was like emaciated or anything, but it was definitely like, oh, I went from like a size 10 in pants to a size 2
Mm.
within a couple months. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much from childhood to where I am now. I'm still pretty much, I would say 95, 90, 98% carnivore. I want to add things back in just so I can see if I'm reacting to them. So I'll add something back in. I'm like, "Oh, I don't react to that. Cool." But I normally I don't stick with eating it cuz first I don't really like vegetables or
Me
fruit.
neither.
Like I had to force myself to eat them when I was trying to be healthy, and I'd rather just cook up a steak and call it a night. So um, my days now, I have beef for breakfast, beef for lunch, and for dinner I'll maybe have some chicken and like some organ meat and more beef.
What's your favorite cut of beef?
Gosh, I mean ribeyes are great. Um, I
Yeah,
actually
the ribeye at
really
Carrie's.
Oh yeah, how was that?
That was amazing. He made like the ribeyes were like 2.5 inches thick, and I ate that on Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night. I finished it off, so I was like, "Holy moly! I've never
Oh
eaten a ribeye
man.
for 3 days in a row." It was amazing.
So I really like lamb shoulder.
I've
Uh,
never tried it.
Oh, so when I um, was diving into the carnivore diet, I found Rebecca Heichman, which I don't know if you're familiar with her, but she suffered with Lyme and chronic C. diff, and she was super, super sick. And she found Billy Doe Meats. It's this company that raises like lamb, goat, beef. I think they have chicken too, and that's where I got most of my lamb from. And it is so good. I air fry it, and like the fat on it just gets like crispy and like almost like pork rindy. And
Really?
oh, it is so good. Yes, I just ordered a bunch today because I just and
I have
that's
to try that.
yeah.
Everybody's been talking about lamb lately.
It's really good. I buy most of my meat from either some local farm or um, Billy Doe Meats. I
Really don't meat.
yeah, I do like chuck roast.
Chuck roast?
So I put it in the Instapot
Mm.
and I cook it for about an hour 30 minutes, and then it's like it just melts in your mouth. It like pulls apart, and it's so good. And then you get like the broth with it. So like
Hmm.
when it gets cold outside, it's really nice.
You're making me hungry. I haven't eaten
Sorry.
yet. I was sitting there, I was like, wow, this really sounded good. Sounds like a
Yeah.
commercial. Can we got time for a few quick comments?
Yeah.
Don says hello.
Hi.
Nourishment redacted. Ellie, good evening, carnivores. Christine says howdy.
Hello.
Susan says hey.
These are great questions.
Right? That's how my daughter was extremely picky. Now she's doing so much better on carnivore. I can understand the picky eating so well. I ate tons of processed foods too, creating an addiction to carbs.
Yeah, so the carnivore diet has like healed my disordered eating completely. At the beginning it was really hard. I was definitely like, oh, I need sugar, I need this, I need that, and then I wouldn't say I would fall off the rail, but I would um, eat dairy. I have a problem with dairy. If I ate a little piece of cheese, then I was just like the end of the like. Then I would just eat a whole thing of ice cream after that. It was
Oh,
more like the keto stuff, you know. It wasn't like crazy because I my reactions were just terrible. But um, I realized I'm like, oh, this is a problem. Like not just with my health, but like my mental. Like there's something wrong. So just sticking with it. I don't even crave like I have not sweets, but like I'll have like well like the protein shake like stevia, and I cut out I was drinking electrolytes with stevia in it, and I'm just like I don't even just give me the salt. Like I don't even really crave or want sugar anymore, or if I do want something sweet, it's not like I'm binging on it, which is awesome.
that's great. Yeah, it's a process, right? Oh, we
Mm.
got a question here. You want to take this one?
Sure. All right. You mentioned you had constipation. How bad was yours? Has it become better with carnivore? I used to go once a month. Wow. Not about now, about 1 to 3 times a week now. So here's the thing. Carnivore is amazing and it reduces inflammation. I don't know if you know Judy Cho, but she wrote the book Carnivore Cure.
I just heard about her like last week.
She's amazing. I really love her stance on stuff. She was a pescatarian, vegetarian for a long time, got really sick, and ended up doing carnivore. And um, so I believe that there are some people who have certain types of infections like me where like Lyme disease, or you're living in a moldy home and there's like some environmental factors that if carnivore doesn't fix it, you have to go after those things. Like you have to. You can't be living in a moldy home and expect meat to fix you. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you have to get out of that environment.
You have
You have
to.
to.
And so with like the constipation and stuff, mine got better once I left the moldy house. But I actually, so when I got sick, when I got really sick, I had the opposite problem. And I couldn't stop going to the bathroom. That's why I was losing so much weight.
Mm.
And then when I started doing carnivore, um, it stopped. It got back and it was normal for like the first time in my whole entire life. I mean, I suffered from yeah, I would go maybe once a week when I was younger, but um, with constipation, if carnivore doesn't clear it up, I would say within 3 to 6 months, I would start digging deeper and seeing if you have some environmental toxins going on.
Mm. That's great advice.
Yeah,
I've been upping my fat intake, and that
that'll
definitely helps.
help.
That helps. That helps a lot. Let's
Yes.
just say that.
Yeah,
And
that'll help.
Ellie, you did a great job putting a Q in front of you guys. Have a question for Andrea? Put a Q in front of it, okay? Just easier for me to read. Carnivore Soldier, what's up, brother? How you doing? Bypass Carnivore, evening.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening. Woodster, howdy. How you doing, bud?
Hey.
That's Bryant. Let's see. This story is amazing. Wow, my heart goes out to you. Yeah, she's got a
Oh,
great
thank you.
story. I want her on here.
Yeah, thanks.
Crazy how many times people go to the doctors and they don't listen when you tell them something's wrong. Yeah, it's if there's no sympathy, it's not happening to them, so they're like, they're probably just making it up, or they're probably just overreacting, or no. Why
Yeah.
would I be here? Why would I not be watching Price is Right or something if I felt just fine? Like, come on, give me a break.
Well, and the thing, so this was what just irked me was that people would say, "Oh, you look great. You look fine." I'm like, I'm not. And I had lost weight, and they're like, "Oh, you look great. You lost weight." I'm like, I literally went from 150 to 120 in like a month and a half. This is not okay. Like, like,
They don't see that though. They don't see the
right,
struggle. They just see you
right,
losing body weight, and they're like, "Oh wow, that must be nice." Yeah, well, not
yeah.
when it's happening like this.
Yes,
You
and
know,
I could tell it was more muscle than fat because I actually before I had became um, well, when I went to the emergency room was actually after I was at the gym, and I was like, this is so weird. I've been going to the gym and I've been working out and I'm getting weaker. I was getting weaker and I'm like, what is going on? But in the back of my mind, I'm like, well, I'm losing weight. Like, okay, maybe I don't know. And then I ended up in the emergency room.
mm, yeah, I'm telling you, we gotta shout your story out because there's probably other people who can relate. And they're going through the same thing, and they just don't
Yes.
know what the heck's going on.
Yeah. So I was in a long haul POTS group and stuff. Like I've been on Facebook and stuff, but it's so hard. Everybody has such um, different walks of life, and um, I tried to promote carnivore and stuff, and it's just it's hard. It is.
Yeah, just what gets easier though is when you start connecting with the people who connect with you, and then you
Yeah.
just focus on them, focus on who will accept the message, and let the other ones go by the wayside.
Yeah.
Carnivore Soldier says, love me some ribeyes and lamb.
Yes.
Howdy from Texas. Yeah, down in Texas, you guys should be cooking up some ribeyes.
Mm.
Hey, here we got one. You want to take this one, Andrea?
Yeah. Okay. Could black mold stall you on carnivore? We have mold in our home and can't afford to fix it. Yes. Um. So mold. Well, I'm sorry to hear that. It sucks. Remediation is super expensive, and the world of mold, most remediators either don't do a very good job or um, it's just overlooked and it sucks, or it's not done properly either, which can make things worse. So the mold in my home, my home was pretty much condemned when the hurricanes would come. the water would come through the walls. Like it would look like the walls were crying. I've had to replace my floor in my bedroom about 3 or 4 times because it would flood all the time. I've had to take the walls out. And then my bathroom, the towels are falling off the wall. And then we found a leak in my mom's bathroom, and it was dripping behind her toilet and into her closet. So like her whole bathroom and part of the master bedroom, it's just in the kitchen, and just it's everywhere. It is everywhere. And I didn't just suffer from stuff. My mom suffers. She's still living in that house, and it breaks my heart that she doesn't get out or try to. Well, it's expensive. It's really expensive. I think it was about $5,000 just to remediate, and then you have to tile the bathroom again. You need to get contractors to plumb and fix leaks, and it's a mess. So, um, as far as I'm trying to, like on my Instagram page, I talk and educate a lot about mold and all that stuff. And um, it's not the mold that makes you sick; it's the mycotoxins. So if you can get some type of air purifier and possibly start some low dose binder or something, it will maybe help. But I really suggest just getting out because it is so toxic. Like, mycotoxins were created, well, they're used, I should say. They're used as bioweapons. They're used to harm people, and that's exactly what they're doing. They mess up your nervous system, they jack up your hormones. So your leptin receptors, so that I had a huge problem with my leptin uh, when I first started carnivore, partially because I was probably very deficient in nutrients, but also, I mean, I was eating 3,000 or more calories a day. I was eating almost 300 grams of protein and fat, and I was still hungry. And I think part of it was because I was living in mold. My leptin receptors were just toast, and the mold really, really, really affects it.
Yeah, and you could get sick enough to die from mold. Mold is nothing to play around with.
Yes. I mean, if it gets in your lung, like if you directly breathe it in, it can kill you within a week. But, um,
Yeah, so
yeah,
it's gonna be cheaper in the long run to spend the money to get out of there. Don't even
right.
fix it. Most of the time, when you got mold problems, you just have to let that place go. You have to just go and start over, literally. And it's probably the best thing to just start over in a
Yeah,
place that's
it's
one hundred
hard.
percent mold free. You know.
Yeah, I think it's hard to find 100% mold free. There's always going to be some type of mold, and people are like, "Oh, mold's everywhere." Like we've been around mold for so long, but they don't. We've never built buildings like this before, and I think I don't remember when we started using drywall, but drywall is pretty brand new building material, and mold loves it. And if there is just a little bit of moisture when you're building the house, you can get mold. And even so, like people are like, "Oh, I've got a brand new house. There's no mold." I'm like, "No, you better do mold checks because there probably is mold." And
Hmm.
um, it, I don't want to scare people either but I mean, you can do like the ERMI tests and to see like the colonization and see what type of mold or how much mold, but um, that's why I think having your windows open, make sure there's fresh air flowing and things like that is important because my mom got new windows when I got sick, and we had really old windows, so there was a little bit of airflow, and it made my symptoms way worse because we were just trapping everything inside.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, airflow is very. That's a great tip. You want to take this one?
How has carnivore affected your mental health?
That's Carnivore
So,
Soldier.
hi. So, my mood is definitely a little bit more stable. I have a lot of hormone problems, but I'm working on it. I just did some blood work 2 weeks ago, and I had high estrogen. That is down, which is awesome. I had hypothyroidism. That is not where we want it to be, but it's better. And
My wife has that.
yeah, it's uh, it's hard. It's hard, and um, our endocrine system is so it's everything affects everything. So if your adrenals are off, then your thyroid will be off, and if your brain's off, then your gut's going to be off, and it's just everything's connected. And so so my mental health, yeah, I forgot to mention this. I was going to check myself into the psych ward, the ER psych ward, when I got sick. I was seeing things, I was hearing things. I was scared to be alone by myself. I thought I was going to harm myself or somebody else. I wanted my mom to hide the knives from me. I couldn't drive because I thought I would drive myself off the road. Very bad intrusive thoughts. I was immensely terrified. Carnivore helped a lot with that, but I'm definitely going to give more credit to reading my Bible and praying. I locked myself in my room and just would read the Bible and pray, and then I had the carnivore diet, and it all kind of seemed to just work in synergy, and got better as time went on. And I noticed that if I were to have like a potato or something, immediately like that symptom would come right back. And sometimes my thoughts were just screams. Like it was just like my nervous system was just on fire. So it definitely helped. Yeah.
So you're doing better than that, right?
Oh yeah, I have a job. I can think. I can work. It's great. I couldn't even I couldn't work, and my friend down the street had offered me to help do some admin stuff. She had a local AC business, and I couldn't even. I had to like put numbers into like a Excel sheet.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even. I had to like write a number down. So if it was like 10, 20, 50, I'd have to write 10 and then type it in and put 10 and then 20. Like I couldn't. Like my brain was toast.
And you feel like you're out of the fog a little bit now, right?
Oh yeah.
Carnivore.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Carnivore turned everything around with my mental stability.
Susan says I cook chuck roast the same way.
It's
That's
so good.
fun. Dan, hello from
Dan!
Minnesota.
Hey, that's my boyfriend.
Hey Dan, how you doing, bud?
He travels out of his van. He's carnivore too, and so when we travel sometimes together, we just have an air fryer, and we'll just
Minnesota. He must have tried Culver's if he's on the road. Has he ever tried
no,
Culver's? No.
I don't think so. The
Yeah, they've got
burgers?
really good like beef patties.
Uh,
100%.
he
Ooh,
likes Five Guys.
Five Guys. I've
Um,
never tried their burger patties. Steak and Shake's another good one. They've got some good beef patties.
I don't. I don't, and I never have tried any takeout. I cook all my meals.
That's great.
I'm weird like that.
Well, I just figure he's on the road, get some burgers to go and
Yeah,
get back to work.
he Five Guys. I think he went to In and Out,
In
and
and out.
he said he was in the bathroom all night.
Oh man. Sorry about that, Dan. She's putting you on blast, man.
Sorry. In his poor van. Oh my
Hey,
god.
that's what happens, man. You got a girlfriend, she might just talk
Sorry.
sometimes, it's okay. Adam from Carnivore Today. Much
Hey
love,
Adam.
Andrea and JT. Thanks, Adam. Love you, bud. He was my first interview. He will always be my first. He's special in my heart. No one forgets their first, right, Andrea?
I think I met him on that Carnivore Live.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam's cool. Rob Bubba. Bubba's my dude.
Hey.
Bubba, how you doing, bud? Nourishment. Yeah, hi Adam. Yeah, Adam's the dude, man. He's working real hard on the carnivore diet documentary behind scenes. Lots of work.
Mm-hmm.
Mine's from a leaking skylight and a leaky bathroom.
The mold.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm not familiar with skylights, but bathrooms are notorious. And if you can't remediate it, then I would just say quarantine that room off. That's what they do when they remediate. They wear like hazmat suits and they quarantine it. And I'm like, this is what you're doing to clean mold, and yet we're just living in it. And
They're quarantining it, dear Lord.
they
We're getting
do.
quarantined again.
No,
Oh
no,
my
no, no,
gosh.
no, just the mold.
Yeah, no, I know, but it's still just to hear the word at all.
It's
It's like,
like
dear Lord.
PTSD.
Jasmine, I'm a Homestead House fan, and I'm over here on your channel, loving it so far. Keep it up. You are very uplifting. I love your spirit. Thank you.
Yes, JT, we love you.
Did I say your name right, Janine? Hopefully, I said that right, Janine.
Hope.
Thank you, Andrea. Katie, question here. You want to take this one, Andrea?
Yeah, what does remediate mean with mold? So remediation means that they take out, so let's say there's a patch of the wall that has mold in it. They take out the whole patch and anything that's exposed, almost like you have skin cancer almost. They take it out, they take out a little bit more, and then they put back the drywall and everything. And then they have to clean the air ducts and make sure that the house is, usually I think they use an ozone sometimes, but they purify the house. They have to fog it for a day or two. So it's a long process.
Just when we think we're out of the fog.
Yeah.
Right? Welcome, Janine. Yes, welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I'm new carnivore 8 weeks and loving this way of life. Yes, it's
Yeah.
the greatest. I'm telling you. I don't feel like it's restricting at all to me.
No. Nope.
That's what I've been thinking too, JT. I lost your thought. I was thinking a lot of things. Thank you for all this information, Andrea. Yeah,
You're
she's
welcome.
got some great info here. Let's see. My home had bad mold. My granddaughter would have hives on and off.
Mhm.
Aw. Took us a while to figure it out. The doctors couldn't even figure it out. We moved and it took a few months, but she hasn't had no episodes. That's great.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
sometimes
awesome.
you just need to
Yeah, so
whole new environment, right?
just moving will help tremendously. So like Dan has similar issues with me, and he lives out of his van most of the time, and that's what a lot of people with mold end up doing is they get a brand new RV and they live out of that because there's no mold in it.
Yeah, right. Yeah, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
Parents' home was full of mold. I always did think that had a lot to do with some of their illnesses. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
It does, unfortunately.
It's a shame too when loved ones are in that situation.
It's
Bubba,
really
this is, can you say it? Can you give Bubba a shout? Say Bubba.
Bye-bye.
There you go. This is quite the story. Good job. Mental health is so important. It is, Bubba.
Mhm. It
It really
is.
is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bubba, he's like a big lap dog. You're gonna love him. He's just the sweetest guy. Thanks, Andrea. I gave you a follow. Yes,
You're welcome.
let's pull up your channel.
Yeah.
Share the screen. You got anything on your heart what you want to talk about while we share your you guys subscribe. Let's get her. She's at 41. We can at least do 100 subscribers tonight. Come on,
It's
guys.
okay. I just started.
Yes, that's okay. And you're
Yes.
gonna be launched into the stratosphere now. So
Uh, I hope. Well, I don't. I'm not in it for the views. My passion and my purpose is to educate and bring awareness to chronic illness and disease because of environmental toxins like mold and Lyme and things like that, but also incorporating the carnivore diet. So like Judy Cho, she's amazing. If you do the carnivore diet, like I said, and you still are having issues, this that means that there's something else going on. So the carnivore diet's amazing. It reduces inflammation. And I'm not saying that you have to do these things. Like Rebecca Heisman, she completely healed herself on carnivore. Like no supplements, no medications, no nothing. And I think that's possible, but I think there are some people like myself that need a little extra help, um, especially when they've been living in mold and they have some traumas. Like my traumatic brain injury. I've been doing a lot of brain
46.
retraining.
Let's go. Let's go. You guys keep
Thank you
subbing. Keep
guys.
talking.
I
I didn't mean
really
to cut you off. I
appreciate.
just get
No,
really
you're fine.
excited.
So I studied holistic nutrition, and I did that for a while. I did muscle testing, so I am certified in that. But I start school next week for nutrition therapy practitioner, so I can sit for the board of um, nutritionist or whatever you want to call it. So
That's
I can
exciting.
I'll be board certified, and I just want to use it so that I can help people heal and
You and
really.
Anthony for food from thought. Food for thought. I'm telling you, he's a real good nutrition specialist too. So you
Mhm.
should talk to him too.
Food for thought. I'll have to. I'll
Yeah,
put
I've done
that
a.
in.
He's one of the
Oh,
chatting with Carnivore
oh,
episodes.
perfect. I'll look them up.
Anthony.
Yeah. So I think food is just so important, and I've had such a bad relationship with it for years, and carnivore turned that around for me. And especially with what's going on in the world with everybody making fake food and processed food and addictions, and I I was listening to a
49. Let's go.
I was listening to a podcast about this woman who she was a heroin addict, and she was talking about food addictions, and she said it was harder to get over my food addiction than it was heroin because you go to parties, you go to these social events, and there's food everywhere in your face. Whereas drugs, they're not just going to be laying out on the counter, and nobody's going to be shoving a or heroin in your face, you know. But food, it's like, oh, here's a cupcake. It's like, no, like you're slowly poisoning yourself, and there's just such a
It's normalized.
yeah, it's
No one even looks at it like a drug, but that's literally like if they looked at it like it was heroin, people would be acting different. So I
yeah.
like that analogy. I do. I mostly cook all my meals.
Dan, yeah,
Yep.
he does.
In and out. Yep. That's just what you're right. You're right, bro. Exactly what it does, man. It goes in and then out 2 minutes later. Yes, yeah, everybody's laughing at that one.
Oh, he's great. He travels a lot for work, so um, he's home based in Ohio.
Oh no, okay.
So we're long distance, but he comes and visits me sometimes. So
That's what I was thinking too, as far as just leaving and not looking back.
yeah,
Yep,
yeah,
yep, yeah.
do it.
Especially if you feel it in your heart, that's what you need to do. I
Yeah.
feel so much better being out in nature. My van has become a sanctuary. That's awesome, man.
Hmm.
Yeah, I should be vlogging the hell out of that. There's I follow a couple of different van vloggers.
He has. If you want to put his channel up too, he's got a YouTube channel. He used to he has a couple. I think he has like 6K subscribers, but that was from he
What's his
used to.
channel name?
I think it's Dan W Actual. Um, he used to post a lot of like gun videos and stuff. Um,
I think I got it here. Let me hold on.
but I think he's posted a couple van videos, and he's trying to get to it. But
Is this
he,
Dan's?
yeah, that's him.
There you go.
Yeah, he's got way more than me. So
Dan, send some subscribers your way. What are you doing, Dan?
I know, right? I'm like, put me on your channel. No,
Yeah, there you go. Start doing like carnivore interviews from the van.
that'd be awesome. Yeah,
Yeah. You guys check out Dan's channel too. Dan W Actual. And here we go. Let's pull yours back up. I want to see what yours is doing now. Hold on, I gotta click this
you're
button here.
funny.
Share screen, Andrea. Let's refresh this. Oh. What did I do?
Almost 50.
What did I do,
Yeah.
JT? Here we go. 52. Let's go.
Yeah. You're a hype man.
Man, I'm telling you, I get hype, man. That's why, because I get
Yeah,
hype.
this is great.
Yeah, you
Wow.
guys, we can get her to 100. And she
Oh,
deserves it because she's got a story and she deserves a platform. Bypass, subscribe.
same.
Thank you. Mert, you want to take this one?
Subscribed. I
Just
love
read a comment.
meeting you and Dan briefly on the random carnivore. Oh, yes, 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 yes. We fellow YouTubers have to stick together. Yes, yes, we do. I've thoroughly enjoyed making YouTube videos, so I'm definitely not gonna stop. I just gotta find my groove, and we'll
Yeah, I
get
tell
there.
that to people getting frustrated with views and likes and subscribers. I'm like, well, why did you ever want a channel? Think
Yeah,
about why you wanted it. It was to have fun and like, are you doing that? Are you making stuff? Hell, what people think. I make videos on my channel that I think are fun, and if no one else likes them, that's fine.
yeah,
But I've got a couple thousand subscribers just making stuff that I think is fun to me. So
yeah.
you know, just do
Yeah.
you.
So, you said it.
Janine, how you
Oh, her
doing,
name.
Janine? Dan, true that, Ellie. Mostly an Instagrammer here, though.
Yeah, he posts more reels and stuff.
He's like, this one's for the gram.
Yeah,
Yeah, you're living the life. What an adventure. It's cool. Van life. Pull up to lakes and just chill out. We need more nutritionists that will point people in the right. Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
So yeah, I was so to become a registered dietitian now in 2024, it is now required that you have a doctorate. And I said, no, thank you. Um, because what they are learning is so actually, when I was in holistic training for muscle testing, I was going to a state college and I was learning nutrition there. They were teaching me exact opposite things.
Mm,
The holistic was teaching me eat organs, meat, organic, fruits and vegetables, no sugar, absolutely not. And then the state nutrition class, they were teaching vegan. You can have as much sugar as you want as long as it's not white refined. And the white refined, you can have 12 grams a day, like stuff like that. And the teachers were a very stark difference as well. So it's it breaks my heart. It
Well,
really does.
Ketoing Viking, she's like, she's got to play the game till she gets her degree, and then she's gonna do her thing. So if
Yeah.
you got to play the game, play the game. It's
Yep.
just the world we're living in.
Yep.
Susan, hey, I just subscribed.
Thanks,
Let's
guys.
go.
You're so funny. I appreciate you guys.
Yes, I'm telling you, you guys are. I love coming on here and chatting with carnivores because everybody is just so dang nice. Rarely, we once in a while we get some trolls. Like we had some trolls on the other night telling me to go eat goat nuts and stuff. That's fine. I just throw you right out of here. No biggie
That's
to me.
fine.
They'll be
Goat nuts
going,
are
going,
great.
gone.
No.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe goat nuts taste good. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe he was serious. I don't know. But
Goats are. I've had goat. Goat's really good. I've not
yeah,
had nuts though. So
yeah, no, I did
no
not
Liver King
eat
over here.
Carrie's goats when I hung out with him. I just gave him a hug. I'm more of a goat lover. But yeah, it happens. Janine gave you a follow, Andrea. Let's go. Thank you
Same.
for helping others. People do need the education. Love this
Yeah.
carnivore community. Me too.
Yeah, I do. I love the carnivore community. I do think that some people can be dogmatic at times, which I understand. But like if you're like me and there are some things that I cannot eat, like pepper, or I will react. But I like if you want onions with your steak and you've been good and you're healing or you're healed, like eat some. Like I think it's more toxic and unhealthy for you to not eat it than just enjoy it and live your life.
Yeah, if you've done elimination and you figured out adding one or two things
Yep.
back in isn't going to hurt you, and you've already got your, do you like,
Yeah.
but otherwise, everybody just got to do what's best for them, like
Right.
some people need to cut out the eggs, some people don't. Just do
Yeah.
carnivore what way makes you
Right.
fit.
Do
Hello,
the
Andrea. Just subscribe. Let's
Thank you,
go.
Susan. Yeah.
Let's check
That's
this out here.
with
I'm curious.
the carnivore cure. It's you do the elimination diet. Like you have to do that first.
52. Come on, guys. We can get it up. Let's go.
So funny. But yeah, so like at least 90 days, just beef, salt, and water, and then you can add stuff back in. And I I would say just stay carnivore. But if that's not your goal and your why, then everybody's different. I remember you
Absolutely.
two now. I saw you. Yeah.
Yep, her and Dan were on there. So
Yeah, we hopped on the same time. It was funny because they're like, "Oh, you guys are in different rooms." We're like, "We're in different states, actually."
yeah, I was like, what? Yeah, and then they're like different. I was like, oh, okay, that explains why they're in different rooms. That made sense. You lightened us real quick. Susan, let's
Thank you,
go.
Susan.
Nose to tail.
Yes. So the nuts. So I
Yes.
do, I do eat organs. I buy ground meat that has organs in it. So, but not all the time.
You want to take
Question.
this one?
Yeah, I was interested in becoming a nutritionist, but the education is so wrong in so many ways. Will that be discouraging and make it more difficult? So, in a way, I'm kind of like what JT said. Sometimes you just have to play the system. But if you become a registered dietitian or something and you don't follow their guidelines, you could probably lose your license.
Mm.
That's the only downside. You see it all the time with doctors. I think,
You guys got to hit up Dr. Barry, see how he's doing it. Be like, how do I do
yeah,
this without like getting my ass burnt?
yeah, it's hard.
Yeah.
They're the trolls, let me tell you. Yeah,
But still like I feel like this documentary is going to help change the culture.
yeah,
So pursue, if
mhm.
that's what you want, pursue it. Don't let
Yes,
anything discourage you guys. Pursue
yes.
what you want, and then the Lord he'll make a way.
Yes, he will. And there's different states have different laws. So, for example, in Ohio, I would not be able to just practice as a nutritionist. I would have to work under a licensed physician, like a doctor. But here in North Carolina, I can just say I'm a certified nutritionist. Hey, here's a protocol. I can supply supplements and give protocols and all that stuff. So
Hmm.
it's it's a Nutrition Therapy Association. If you guys want to look that up, that's the program I'm going through, and that's what Judy Cho did. She's NTP certified.
Yeah, there you go. You can go directly to her and be like, so what do I do so I don't get burnt?
Yep. Yep.
She could tell you.
Yeah.
My coach would say, go to someone who knows exactly how to do what you want to do and learn from them. Do what they say to do,
Yeah.
and then you're going to win. That's how you win. It's
Yep.
easy. It really
Yep.
is.
Don't reinvent the wheel.
Y'all are right. I should start vlogging. Hell yeah, bro. Get it. Life is too short, man. We only get one run at it as far as we know.
he,
So
he
you don't want
said
to look back with regrets when you're laying in your deathbed. You want to look back at all those fun memories and relive them and be like, man, that was the bomb.
he said that I've been inspiring him, so hopefully he'll get on the wagon.
There you go. My Instagram has all the good stuff on it, though.
All right, we get it. No.
We'll have to put the good stuff on the vlogs
Yeah,
too.
do it.
Do
Yeah.
it.
How to be carnivore in the van. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, how to be carnivore, living that van life. Is
Yeah,
it possible? And teach people like,
it
yeah.
is.
Look
Because
at this way, Ellie. They will teach you all the stuff to avoid.
yeah.
LOL. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Good
Yeah,
point.
good point.
There's definitely a science behind being carnivore in the van. LOL. That would be a great video. No, I'm telling you. Yeah, you've got it right there. You've got it
Yeah.
right there.
Yeah. It's we have an air fryer. There's a fridge in there. I think he has his freezer that he brings sometimes.
You said you had a histamine reaction.
So
So do you cut out like the eggs, or do you like just do the egg yolks and not the whites?
so my histamine has healed since I've been on carnivore. I can do
Really?
ground meat
Because
now.
Lynn on last night, she's got a histamine issue. I had her on right before you, the interview
Yeah.
before you.
So I'm I'm way better. I think mostly because I'm getting rid of the mold illness.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, I can't really eat aged meat. I don't cook and do leftovers ever. And if I do, I freeze it. Um,
Mm.
yeah, so that's that's really
Yeah,
it.
leftovers don't survive around me. It's just
Yep.
leave them out, leave them in the fridge. They're just
Yeah.
gone. Either way, it's just down the hatch.
Yeah. Yeah. But I work so I cook my breakfast and then I pack my lunch. So I do have
So do you
my
cook
meat
it the night
digest.
before your lunch?
No, I cook it in the morning with my breakfast,
Breakfast? Okay.
and then I pack it, and then I'll eat it about 4 hours later. So I don't have a reaction to that. So that's awesome. But before, when I was really sick, I would have a reaction to aged meat.
You guys make sure you subscribe. Andrea's live right now. Look at that. She's hustling on her channel. She's
I'm
live, right?
trying.
See, it
I'm
says live
trying.
now, guys. She's in the flesh. She's live. Let's click on one of your shorts here.
Oh gosh, no.
I found this protein
Oh
powder
yes.
that I'm excited to try, and I wanted to let you guys know how it went, but I haven't tried it yet, and I bought it a while ago. I've just been hesitant to try it since I react to a lot of things.
This is the
Prime
best
protein.
protein I've ever
It's only
had.
4 ingredients, and it's made from grass-fed beef, so that's awesome.
Whoops.
When you've been
I'm so sorry.
found
You're
this
fine.
protein
is-
powder.
It's grass-fed
I'm
beef.
Let's watch another one.
When you've been exposed to a biotoxin that mold produces called mycotoxins, your symptoms are going to be a little bit different. It's going to include things like irritable bowel syndrome, chronic fatigue, hormonal. When you've been
One more.
years ago, I became bedridden and I got diagnosed with POTS, and then I started to dig deeper for root cause and found out that I had Lyme and mold toxicity. So, how did I find Carnivore? 2 years ago, I became bedridden. And
She
I
got us in a loop. That's good editing. I was like, whoa.
I try.
That's good. I like it. That's good editing.
Thank you.
You guys, so make sure you subscribe to her channel.
Yes,
She's gonna be putting out all sorts of updates. She's gonna be vlogging. She was out there on the porch. That was a nice view.
Oh yeah, it's too dark right now, but I get my deer out there in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
The highway is kind of noisy, but once you're out there for a little, it just becomes white noise. So
Yeah, it gloss over it. You gonna come back for an update, or maybe even I'm having a carnivore hangout tonight. I'll send you the stream. I didn't want to send you 2 links at once and then get you confused because I already had you confused about the volume. So I didn't want to then get you over on this one and then that one.
Yeah, we can do an update because I'm cutting out those sweeteners and stuff. I want to see how that does.
Absolutely, and I'll send you the link for tonight's, and maybe you can get Dan to hop on there too.
Yeah, well,
It's gonna be a carnivore hangout, you know.
He must have his Starlink up and going. I don't know where he is, so.
Link to the stars, Dan. You heard her. Link to the stars. You guys, I had a blast.
Thank you.
We're gonna be on here again, and my coach always says the first law of learning is repetition. You guys, so you could have been listening to something for a second on the news, or your phone made a ding or something, and you look down there and you missed something important. So replay this. There's value in Andrea, and there's value in her story, and that's what we got for this. She said she's gonna come back, and you guys maybe see her tonight later at 10 p.m. here, about 2 hours with Dan. Maybe we'll see.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Yes, we'll see. All right, you guys, that's this episode. I'll catch you on the next one. I'll do my duck face on the way out here.
Oh,